Well, we're going to focus now on domestic politics. Lots of economics in that for you. Let's speak to the editor at the news website Tortoise, Neilan, regular on the show. Good morning to you. The paper's full of lots of things that we can expect from Thursday's budget. And we've talked a great deal about pensions and the triple lock. It certainly seems as though that is going to go ahead. But perhaps more surprisingly is the council tax angle that's beginning to creep through this new narrative that council taxes, one of the papers quoting that they're going to be £2,000 average bills for people, and this is to fund social care.
Yes, so over the weekend we started to see some sort of hints about what might be in the budget. Jeremy Hunt saying it's going to be rabbit-free, which is a big red flag because, of course, chancellors love to keep back rabbits to say, well, look, we're doing all of these nasty things, but here's some nice things. I don't think there's going to be many nice things. The council tax rise, we knew that it was probably going to go above the 2.99% usual limit. 5%, though, is a big jump. And, yeah, £2,000. Now, this is very important, as you were talking about with some of your previous guests, because there are a couple of councils that are looking at possible bankruptcy. And that means, although they wouldn't actually fall over completely, they would stop funding a lot of key services. And so this is kind of, I think, probably a bit of a plea from some of those local councils to try and get a bit more money and perhaps give some political cover for that actually happening.
Have you heard anything about more councils potentially getting into difficulty, like Kent and Hampshire?
Not specifics, but of course, a couple of years ago we had Croydon, and I think they're still sort of looking a bit iffy. I'm not sure that's a technical term, but you know. And there are others. Councils have really suffered the brunt of austerity 1.0, and now could be looking down the barrel of austerity 2.0. Yeah. And, of course, we all rely on a lot of the council services. You know, it's not just things like libraries, schools and things like that. You know, it's very important that councils get the funding that they need, not least if there's more expectation in terms of social care to be funded from their depleted coffers. Yeah,
it really is worrying this morning. What else has caught your eye in terms of what's coming out on Thursday? I thought it was really interesting, this line about 5 new warships that is being announced by Rishi. Now, cynically, is this to try and sweeten the Defence Secretary, Ben Wallace, who's been very bullish in trying to get his 3% of GDP increase by the end of 2030? That's not likely to happen in this budget, is it?
No, I think this is exactly that, trying to head off. Of course, Ben Wallace and his junior minister, James Heappey, have both indicated that they would resign if the 3% wasn't committed to. I think there are ways that can be kicked into the long grass. You know, 2030 is obviously at least 2 elections away. But having the commitment of building warships, of course, warships was a sort of big focus of the integrated review that came out under Boris Johnson, and it's sort of big part of the sort of British naval tradition. So I think you're right. That is a sort of a bit of a trying to keep people on side. Of course, the last thing you want is the Defence Secretary to be resigning in the middle of a war.
And he's very popular as well with all wings of the party. He's done so well, hasn't he, with Ukraine? So you can see why. We're trying to keep him happy.
Kat, thanks for speaking to us.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Thank you, Kat Neilan from Tortoise Media there.